Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
You can customize a report to suit your needs by using the Customize button that is found within the report page after you run the report. Alternatively, any customizable report will also have a Customize link after the description shown on the reports page. To start, we will cover the settings for customizing a balance sheet report. Many reports will contain these basic customization features, and some reports will even have more sections you can customize, like the AR Aging Summary Report, for example. Clicking the Customize button will open a new window that is broken down into at least 5 sections. The 5 main sections of the Customize window are General, Rows and Columns, Lists, Numbers, and Header and Footer. You can see the names of these sections shown at the left side of the customization window. You can click these links to jump to that particular section if needed. Each section will contain report settings that you can customize to suit your needs. Some reports may have even more sections depending on the type of report you are customizing, which we will discuss later in this lesson. The first section is the General section. In this section, you can set the transaction date for the report. This setting determines the date range of the transaction shown in the report. The drop-down list contains 30 options from all dates to next year. You can also specifically set a date range by using the From and the To Date Range calendar fields. The next setting under General is the accounting method. You can choose the cash basis or accrual basis in this area. The final setting in the General section is for sub-items. This setting will allow you to choose to collapse or expand sub-item lines within your report. The next section is the Rows and Columns section. This section allows you to control the display of rows and columns in your report. The first setting in the Rows and Columns section is to set what columns are to be displayed. The options in the columns drop-down list are total only, days, weeks, months, quarters, years, customers, vendors, and products or services. The next option is to set the Sort By method for the report. This contains 3 options: Default, Total in Ascending Order, and Total in Descending Order. The next setting in the Rows and Columns section is an Add Subcolumns for Comparison area. Here you can check the checkboxes to add comparison columns for the previous period, previous year, percent of row, and percent of column. The previous period and previous year comparison columns also have 2 additional checkbox options available. These options are to show the dollar in change to display the change in a dollar amount, and the percent change to show the change in a percentage. Next is the Show Rows setting. Here you can select Active, All, or Non-Zero. This will allow you to choose what types of accounts to display within the rows in your report. The Show Columns setting allows you to set what types of accounts are shown within the columns in your report. The options for Show Columns are Active, All, or Non-Zero. The next section is the Lists section and will allow you to control what customers, vendors, or products and services to display in your report if needed. The drop-down lists contain all of the customers, vendors, and products or services your company has. You can also select from the options All, Select Multiple, Not Specified, or Specified. Choosing the Select Multiple option will open another window that will allow you to choose what specific customers, vendors, or products or services to include in the report. You use these drop-downs to filter the report data shown by customer, vendor, or product and service if desired. The Numbers section lets you control how numbers are displayed in your report. The first setting controls how to show negative numbers in the report. The choices for this option are normally, in parentheses, or with a trailing minus. No matter which option you choose, you can also select the checkbox to show your negative numbers in bright red. The last area in the Numbers section provides checkboxes you can check to set how you show all numbers in your report. The checkboxes are divided by 1000, without cents, or except 0 amounts. The last section is to control how the header and footer of your report is displayed. The Show and Header checkboxes allow you to determine the information to show in the report header. The checkboxes are Company Name, Report Title, and Transaction Date. If you check the Company Name or Report Title checkbox, you can enter the company name or report title to display into the adjacent fields to the right. The Header Alignment setting allows you to select one of 3 radio buttons to control the alignment of information in the header of the report. You can choose Left, Center, or Right Align. The Show and Footer checkboxes allow you to determine the information to show in the report footer. The checkboxes are date prepared, time prepared, and report basis, accrual versus cash. Choosing any of these checkboxes will add that information to the footer of your report when it is generated. Finally, you have 3 radio buttons to choose the alignment of information in the footer. You can choose a left, center, or right side alignment. The balance sheet report, which summarizes transaction totals, is considered a summary report in QuickBooks. Apart from summary reports, you also have transaction detail reports in QuickBooks, which show columns of information about individual transactions. For example, if you click an account total line within the balance sheet report, you will then see a transaction detail report for the selected account. When customizing transaction detail reports in QuickBooks Online, you will see a Change Columns button in the Rows and Columns section of the Customize window. If you click this button, it will open a Select and Reorder Columns window that allows you to control which columns are displayed on your report and adjust the order of those columns as well. In this window, the columns you can add to the report are shown in the Available Columns list, and the current report columns are shown in the Selected Columns list. To add a report column, click the name of the column to add in the Available Columns list, and then click the Add button to add it into the Selected Columns list. To remove a report column, select the column to remove from the Selected Columns list, and then click the Remove button. To reorder the columns shown within the Selected Columns list in the Select and Reorder Columns window, select the name of the column whose position in the list you want to change. The order in which the columns appear within the Selected Columns list from top to bottom are the order in which they will appear within the report from left to right when you are finished with your report customizations. After selecting the desired column, click the Move to Top, Move Up, Move Down, and Move to Bottom buttons that appear at the right side of the list as needed until the column is in the desired position within the report. When you are finished customizing your report columns for the transaction detail report, click the OK button in the lower right corner of the window to apply the changes. You can click the Cancel button to discard your changes if needed. In addition to being able to customize the columns within the transaction detail reports, you will also have some additional customization options. In the Dates section, you will often have the option to select a date range for either the created date, last modified date, or due date for transactions. You still choose the date range by either using the drop-down or by specifying a custom date range using the From and To calendar date selectors. Transaction detail reports will often give you more choices for filtering the transactions that appear within the report by using the Lists section of the customization window. Common choices include filtering for the transaction type, account, distribution account, name, customer, vendor, employee, and product or service. Note that the Lists customization section can appear in both summary and transaction detail reports. In addition, because transaction detail reports display the details of the transactions in your company file, you will also often see a status section appear within the customization window for these types of reports. Note that this section also appears for some types of summary reports. For example, summary reports that deal with accounts payable and accounts receivable. The drop-downs that appear within this section allow you to filter the transactions shown in the report by the status of the transactions. For example, if viewing a transaction detail report for checks, you could filter the report to only show checks that were not yet printed by setting the Check Printed status drop-down to be printed. Common statuses in this section are Cleared, AR Paid, AP Paid, and Check Printed. Also for transaction detail reports, you will often see a Match section appear in the report customization settings. This section allows you to exactly match a specified field's value in order to filter the report to only display transactions that exactly match the field's value. To do this, simply type the value to match into the desired field shown within the Match section. Common fields shown in the Match section include Amount, Memo, Number, and Ship Via. For both accounts payable and accounts receivable aging reports, you will also see a special aging section appear in the report customization window. In this section, you can set the aging method setting for the report to use either the current date or the report date by selecting the desired option button. You can enter the number of days per aging period to display into the Days per Aging Period field. Then you can enter the number of periods to display into the Number of Periods field. For transaction detail aging reports, you can also enter the minimum number of days past due to show for the aging transactions by typing that number into the minimum days past due field that appears. After you have completed report customization settings for any report, you can choose to run the report from the customization window by simply clicking the Run Report button. To email the report, click the Email button. To download the report as a Microsoft Excel file, click the Export button and then select your desired Excel file format from the drop-down menu. To cancel the report customization, click the Cancel button. After you are returned to the customized report page, you can save your report customizations by clicking the Save Customizations button that appears at the top of the report. We will discuss saving customized reports in a later lesson in this chapter.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.